understanding of annual testing. So this topic will not take more than 5 minutes. So just
Okay.
for a formality, I'll finish this.
Mm-hmm.
Unit testing, integration testing, system testing,
Mm-hmm.
and UAT. So of course, Rizwan sir, I would start from you. What you remember from these things, and if you are little bit wrong, so definitely I would correct it. Otherwise, we will not disturb your concepts. So, what do you mean by these terms? Can you help us?
Yeah, unit testing is like when a developer is writing the program.
Uh-huh.
So for everything object, he is writing a code. So if we can ask or have the help of the developer, so for every object we need to have a test case. That's the good testing. Yani integration testing, yani how one system is integrating with another system.
Yes, yes. So, can you give
And
us?
this
Can you
is
give me an
user
example
acceptance
of
testing, yes.
integration testing? Can you give me example, whichever that comes in your mind? Any?
Uh, like when a customer comes on the front page, then he puts the order. So order goes in the back end into the driving place, and then the order is placed. Then the invoice is generated. Then the credit
Absolutely.
department comes in, and so all these things. Many systems are talking to one another, so they are integrating
Yeah.
well or talking well with one another.
So only thing I would just like to add you. So here we have said front end, back end. So this could be from to the same application. For example, we are working on to the Amazon. So
Mhm,
Amazon would be having its front end and Amazon will be having its back end technologies. They are talking to their database.
mhm,
It could be integration of two totally different applications. For example, on Amazon, if you are clicking a payment option, it get redirected to the Citibank or Bank of America,
mhm,
and your debit would be your money would be debited. So it
mhm,
could be both the things from to the same application, or it may be an integration of totally two different application. Absolutely right.
mhm.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. What about yes, system testing?
System testing, I don't know.
It is and is the thing, but we call it as a system testing. It is end-to-end testing.
Okay,
Here, here we check the entire application. For
okay.
example, like I remember I told you, suppose you have written 5,000 test cases. We'll just come to
Mm-hmm,
that functional plus non-functional. So the technical word is system testing, feature testing. So end-to-end
mm-hmm,
testing.
mm-hmm.
And what about UAT, sir?
User acceptance testing, that you just
So,
have the glasses of a user, a general user, and then test the whole thing.
so who does the UAT if I ask you? What would be the answer?
The tester himself.
Tester means who
Or
is a
sometimes we give it to the general user. Okay, as we know the system, so general user like who doesn't know the system, just come and test whether you find any difficulty or it's easy for you to test it.
So, if someone will ask you, like, it is very debatable on scenario to scenario. So, UAT is done by usually your customers. So,
Uh-huh.
suppose I am creating a software for you, you are paying
Mm-hmm.
me. Take an example. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I have done everything from my side,
Mm-hmm.
but still you will evaluate it. And if you think that whatever the features that you have requested, if it
Mm-hmm.
is working, then you will say that yes, it is working absolutely fine. But I have executed suppose 5,000 test cases in my lab. In UAT, you are not going to execute all the 5,000 test cases. It's like 10 to 15 scenario. If you try at the very high level, you, your team, your colleagues, whoever, who are the people who are going to use this system. So
Mm-hmm.
you usually say that UAT is done by our customers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, so this is the example for, like I said, suppose you are working into service based industry. I am creating a software for you. But now if I ask you a question, we have a Google, Facebook, this Microsoft, they are a product based company. So in this case, Rizwan is sir, who would be the UAT is done by whom? Because we are creating product for ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Google has their own product, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? In that case, who will do the UAT?
Mm-hmm. The customers are the general user, the general public. So, like, I will still can say the customers of Google, the general public, they will come and they do and they can say, okay, what or no.
So here the comes staging environment, pre-environment, and production.
Mm-hmm,
So, for example, in the Google, we had a single search option initially, single search.
mm-hmm,
Now we have a multi-search option is also enabled, for example. Okay, just
mm-hmm,
take an example. Now, this new feature has been introduced into the Google.
mm-hmm,
You have tested on staging. Suppose it took you 1 week. Take an example.
mm-hmm,
So the environment would be QA google.com. Okay. So here you are tested for 1 week. Then onto the pre. The same QA, that is Rizwani sir, he will test on pre google.com.
mm-hmm,
Maybe it will take him 1 day. Take an hypothetical scenario. And sir, here in the production, it would be you only, you as a QA. So in a small organization, usually like I used to work into the startups. So it's like you who has done testing on staging and pre, he also do a quick sanity on production. That is nothing but the UAT for us. Are you getting the difference between previous scenario and this one?
uh,
So
yeah.
what I'm trying to say,
Mm-hmm,
so here when I was making a product for you,
mm-hmm,
suppose you are Amazon CEO. So take an example. So you had given me a contract. So I have created it for you. So in this case, when we have delivered this Amazon.com, so it would be your people, your teammates. They will do a UAT of it. Is like
mm-hmm,
whatever the features that we have requested, unless you guys are satisfied, we are is like the shipping of product won't be considered as a successful, right? If you are giving a thumbs up, it is done, then and then we'll say that yes, product is working absolutely fine, correct?
mm-hmm,
User acceptance testing. But what I'm saying in this case, Google has its own product. So
mm-hmm,
there is no, it's like a client involvement. They are their own product. So who will does the testing for this? They cannot involve outside of the people. So what I'm trying to tell you, the person is like the QA engineers of Google itself. They
mm-hmm,
have access to the production environment.
mm-hmm,
And here they will do, suppose it took them 1 week into the staging. For pre, it would take 1 day. Maybe on UAT, they would be done in 30 minutes.
mm-hmm,
So the UAT is done by our people. They will say that, oh, it looks like everything is working fine, and then this system would be available for the entire world.
mm-hmm. Like when
Mm,
I was working with this Google company, at that time he says, okay, you have tested already. Now I'm pushing it to the production. So
mm.
just please run a sanity
Yeah,
test.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So they will request you itself because
Uh,
Rizwani sir, we don't have any customers for this because this is our
mhm,
our own baby, something like that.
mhm,
So in this case, they will ask you, hey, we are done, but before we make this soft site up, can you just do a quick sanity of it? So
mhm,
it depends. So you have to be very smart when you are giving the interview. The interviewer, he may take you here and there. Whether
mhm,
so that's why intentionally I covered both the scenarios. Okay.
mhm.
So I guess,
After
yeah.
sanity test, they say, okay, now you are good. You have done the sanity test and everything is good. Now you can run the regression and detailed run testing
No,
on
no,
the.
no, 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 no. On production, Rizwani sir, we will never ever do regression. Absolutely no. That's our next topic. What is the difference between sanity and regression? Regression would be done here, sir. First of all, there is a QA setup. Onto the QA setup, I'll come on to that. On
Okay.
staging, you will do the entire regression.
Mm-hmm.
Onto the pre, you can run your automation or maybe you can do the regression. But on
Mm-hmm.
production, never ever we will execute all the 5,000 test cases here. Absolutely no. It like a name suggests, that's a quick sanity. So
Mm-hmm.
sanity is doing, so that means we will not do the regression. And usually in the sanity, sir, we will do the read operation. I will cover this. We will not create any dummy data on this because sir, it's not a test environment. It is a environment used by our customers, right? Live customers. Suppose it's a Bank of America, so I cannot create a dummy account there. Are you getting transactions and all these things? It is impossible. So usually we do the read operation and it's a quick sanity. So we will never ever do the regression onto the production.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So I hope at least you might have got one or two extra points. So like I said, it will not take more than 5 minutes. So I guess these concepts are enough for you. It's like here developer is involved. Integration on papers, if you see onto the books, it is debatable DAO QA, but in reality it is done by QA. System testing 100% by QA, and
Mhm.
UAT is done by your customers. And if it is we are into the product based organization, our QA people does the UAT of it. Okay.
Okay. What is the
So
difference between like this sanity test and smoke test? Is the same, approximately the same?
minor difference. So we are approaching towards that types of testing. So that is our next topic. But to answer your question, uh, smoke testing is done usually before our sanity, and smoke testing usually done by the developers. And nowadays we have these tools, Jenkins. So you might have heard this word CI/CD pipeline, right? Whenever we do any integration or whenever we add the new code, so in Jenkins we have a one job. It will automatically checks that if your build is passed, that means our smoke is done. Once your build is passed, then we'll go for the sanity. So to answer your question, yes, there is a difference. So smoke testing is usually done by developers and sanity testing done by the QA. But yeah, these topics we are going to touch base if possible
Okay.
today itself. Okay.
Mhm.
So the main important thing I have to discuss here, functional versus non-functional. I'm pretty much sure you might have heard this word. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I ask you define or if you just explain in your general words, so what is functional testing, what is non-functional testing, that you might remember.
Non-functional testing is like a performance testing.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
So we
And
have a lot of examples, like you said, performance, absolutely right. Any other that you remember?
mm, uh,
Security
stress
testing will
testing.
come here. Stress performance, I would say a sub part of it. Security testing of the application, it will come
Hmm.
into the non-functional.
Hmm.
Compatibility,
Hmm.
compatibility is like,
Hmm.
whether it is working on Windows, Linux, Mac, compatibility, different devices, mobile, tablets, and all these things,
Different browsers, yeah.
different browsers. Have you heard about sir I18N testing?
I no.
18N is like internationalization testing, localization testing. Our software supports multiple languages.
Hmm.
Google, Google,
Hmm.
if you do a search on Google, it supports multiple languages, right? Have a look. You see, Hindi, English, Bangla, all these things. So someone has
Hmm.
to test this application, right? So that is nothing but the I18. But anyways, I'll tell you. But you are absolutely right. Performance none. But if someone asks you what is functional testing and what is non-functional testing, so just to fulfill their, you can say that in functional, as the name suggests, we'll only focus onto the functionality, whether the functionality or the whatever the requirements that we had, it is absolutely working fine or not. In the non-functional, we will check its a side effect on the system.
Hmm.
We will check the side effects of it onto the system. Now side effect, like I told you, you can say performance. Suppose I am opening a amazon.com. Yes sir, it's a home page is opening, but suppose it is taking 5 minutes to open a home page, will you release that product in the market?
Oh no.
So this is non-functional. What is the side effect of it? So this is we are covering to the non-functional.
Mhm.
So first of all, we'll go with the functional and then we'll go the non-functional. So now here your question comes, smoke testing. So I'm not stretching much because you know those things. That's why. Otherwise, I would have taken more time. Like I
Yeah.
promised yesterday, we are not unnecessarily wasting the time because your answer was absolutely right. That's all. Now here, so first of all, we'll cover about functional testing. So what happens? I'll ask you the simple example. Suppose this one is sir from the Play Store, you are downloading this WhatsApp application. Okay, WhatsApp app you're downloading. Okay, and when you're downloading, sometimes you might have seen there are some apps you are not even able to install them successfully. They fail in installation. Have you faced such applications when you are using from Play Store?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell you, a smoke testing is a kind of testing where uh, I would say we will we will check whether the build that we are receiving,
Mm-hmm.
it should be into testable state. It should be into testable state. For example, I'll give another example. We are working on this Amazon. So I would say QA. Sorry, Rizwan, sir, some program is there, so you may find little disturbance.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope am I audible, right?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah, you may face some background noise. So sorry for that. So here you have a QA Amazon.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here your developer has said that, okay, Rizwani sir, we have provided the you can go to the different electronics product. This feature is available. So you will go here and suppose you will type here QA Amazon.com. Rizwani sir, you are at least you should get the home page, then you should get the whatever the products they have, then you can do the testing of that application. But you the developer that is provided this testing environment, this is not working. So are you be in a position to test the functionality that they have asked you?
No.
That means smoke testing was not done properly from the developer side. If
Mm-hmm.
they are asking you, we have deployed a build, you can go ahead and do your testing on QAmazon.com. But
Mm-hmm.
sir, the environment, the build, that whatever you are providing, first of all, it should be in a working state. How can I go ahead and I do my testing?
Mm-hmm.
So that is nothing but the smoke testing. What is smoke testing? In a smoke testing, we will make sure the environment, the build that we are receiving, it should be into usable state. It should be into testable state.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, I would say even the developers, they told you, but they
Mm-hmm.
even didn't check whether this website is opening or not.
Mm-hmm.
It happens sometimes that usually not into the websites when they are giving you a bill. I will give you the very good example, then you will understand. I was just talking about this WhatsApp. Okay, imagine that same example. We have a audio, we have a video, and we have a chat. So Rizwani sir, developer one is working on audio feature. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and he has done his sanity. It was working absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Onto the video, second developer was working. He has also done his sanity, sir. It was working absolutely fine. Third
Mm-hmm.
developer was there. He has done the chat teacher. He has also done the sanity, and it was working absolutely fine. Okay. Now, I told you nowadays this DevOps engineers, what they do, uh, they will merge all these three feature branches. So when I'm using this word feature branches, are you comfortable with these words or it is new for
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Okay. So suppose developer is working on audio feature, video feature and this thing. Now these three
Chat
feature
feature.
branches, they are going to merge into the main branch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they will generate a build.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you, sir, this is done by the DevOps engineer.
Mm-hmm.
When they have generated this build and this build looks like generated successfully,
Mm-hmm.
means you can see a exe, you can see a jar, something like that, or .apk file that you store onto the um, Play Store. So this DevOps engineer is able to generate successfully this your WhatsApp build, and he has provided for the QA team that, hey guys, can you just take audio, video, and chat feature?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what this QA will do? He will install that build on his mobile, correct?
Yes.
Now, Rizwani sir, can you give me the guarantee that this build will install, although the sanity was done?
No, not sure because individually they might work, but when they are all
Yes,
together,
exactly. Sir, here when we have merged these things, who has done I would say no one tested that, right? Whether it is
yeah.
into working state or not. So nowadays, what happens? Nowadays, there is a one tool Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a your sir main branch. Okay. Here, suppose we have a code for 1.0 WhatsApp. Take an example. And now we are saying that in 1.1, we are adding these three features. So now what will happen? Uh, yeah, so okay, let me make it a 1.1.0. It would be easier. This 1.0, it has a some code. Now it would add plus audio code. Okay, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But what this Jenkins will do, as soon as this audio source code is merged with 1.0, these DevOps engineers have written some scripts. We call it as jobs.
Mm-hmm.
It automatically, it automatically, what it does, sir, whatever the this sanity testing is written by the developer one, they integrate that checks with this old code. So now what happen? As soon as this is added, so it will do the this whatever the code that these guys has written. This
Mm-hmm.
suppose he has written 10 test cases. Automatically with the old code of 1.0 plus this audio code which has sanity, it will execute these sanity test cases with 1.0 and audio. If it is pass, then and then successful build will generated, successful build.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, if any sanity fail, then automatically this build is failed and notification will go to the developer one. Hey boss, I was trying to merge your code with existing one. Although it was working on your setup, but I'm not able to generate the build. My build is failing. How can I go ahead and I give this build to the QA team? So here I would say your smoke failed.
Mm-hmm.
Rizwan sir, are you able to correlate, because these things might be little new for you.
Yeah.
Now suppose uh, few test cases it failed. So now what this will do to sanity to his sanity test cases, not what I'm using, sir, word. I'm really sorry. Unit test cases. Oh my God. They have, sir, developer does their unit testing, right? We just
Yeah.
discuss, just maybe. So there, out of 10, 2 unit test cases fail. Then this developer one again debug, and again he will do some new code changes for audio. Again he will push his changes into GitHub. As soon as code will come into GitHub, this GitHub has an integration with Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
This Jenkins will be having some jobs that I will told you, scripts. Again, it will execute now 10 unit test cases that was written by the developer one. Now, if it is pass, then and then our build would be success.
Mm-hmm.
That means our smoke is pass. So nowadays, that's why we say that usually now smoke testing is done by developers, because everything is this is now automated, and again these are nothing but the word continuous integration.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I told you. This is nothing but the continuous integration. Now suppose this is your pass. Now in your 1.0 you have this plus you have a source code of audio. Okay. Now when this video to code would be merged here, now here 1.0, which is automatic, already containing your audio as well. Now plus video code. As soon as this video code will come from into GitHub, again Jenkins will comes into picture, Jenkins, and now, sir, he will execute 20 unit test cases. Are you getting 20 unit test cases?
Yeah.
Because 10 was already was
Audio.
written by these guys. Yes, and now the new 10 would be from video. So now similarly for the chat feature or another features, and if it is fail, automatically that notification goes to the corresponding developer. Boss, I cannot accept your changes because it is breaking your unit test cases. You go ahead and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
That is nothing but the concept of sir smoke testing.
Oh, okay.
So that's why you see now it is very debatable. Like I said, like these books were written maybe 10 years, 15 years, 20 years before. But when we work into industry, now what some people say, what is smoke testing? I will tell you.
Mm-hmm.
When you receive this WhatsApp application, so they will just check, it's like to sanity testing. Some people say smoke testing in some of the organizations. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said it is very debatable. So now what is sanity testing? Once your smoke is passed, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and suppose you have 100 test cases for audio, you
Mm-hmm.
have 100 test cases for video and 100 test cases for chat. So sir, in the case of sanity, we will just check the important test cases without going into much details.
Mm-hmm.
We will just check the important test cases. So maybe I will take from this from out of 100. Maybe like I said, it is debatable. Maybe I can take 8 to 10 scenarios from here.
Uh-huh.
From video, I can take maybe 3 to 4, something like that. Okay. From
Mm-hmm.
chat, maybe I can try 5 to 6. So here
Mm-hmm.
I would say your manager will ask, hey, Rizwani, our developer has installed the build and smoke is passed. Can you just go ahead and can you do a quick sanity? So you will
Mm-hmm.
say that yes sir, just give me half an hour. I'll tell you whether the build in testable state or not. So
Mm-hmm.
when you will do the sanity means you are not going to execute all 100 test cases,
Mm-hmm.
important test cases from that feature, and you will make sure whether all the features that has been delivered to you, at least they should be in a working state. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying 100% working state.
Mm-hmm.
Audio call should happen at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it may be possible that when you are creating a group of 5 people, then it is failing. But at least one on one it is working. You are not blocked for your testing, right? At least.
Mm-hmm.
So that is nothing but the sanity testing. So sanity
It's in
testing is
half an
nothing
hour
but yeah, in that case it in half an hour. Maybe
or an
it
hour.
depends upon it depends upon your complexity of the product. Sometimes you have a typical installations and all this stuff, but like in the application like this WhatsApp, I guess you can tell them, yes sir, it is looks like okay, we can go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and we can do the feature testing feature,
Mm.
something
Main
like
features are working.
yes. So now someone, sir, if you ask you what is the difference between smoke and sanity, so what you can say?
Mm-hmm. The sanity testing is done after the smoke test has been passed.
Smoke testing has been passed. So
Uh,
it is like we have this bigger organization, so where you will see these scenarios. But in some of the companies, smoke testing, sanity testing, these words are used interchangeably. So don't get
uh-huh.
confused.
Yeah. And
So some
it's
people may would say that this they would say that smoke. They will say that smoke testing means just testing the important features. This is
Mhm.
possible.
Mhm.
So difference I would say in the smoke, we will make sure bill should be into working state.
Mhm.
In sanity, we will check the important feature should be in a working state. So minor difference is there.
Uh-huh.
You see now the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. This is I wanted to discuss with you today. Second, regression versus retesting.
Mhm.
Any idea is one, sir? What are these two magic words?
Regression testing, like regressly, you check this whole thing. That after the build is built, so you go through all the test cases and see everything is working fine. That is my understanding of regression testing.
You are 75% correct, but when you are saying that you have to execute all the test cases, so I
Mhm.
will just add you what is the scenario where is the scenario where you think that you have to execute all the scenarios, you have to make sure. So what things will change, that's why you are going for this action. Then you may get the answer. Why we go
Uh,
for regression?
I like because we want to make sure that after the build, all the systems are
Sorry.
talking.
After the build, so that means you would be
Yes, yeah,
introducing
build.
something new features.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was only word was missing. So I just wanted to add
Oh,
you. So
yeah.
into the regression testing, if you are adding a new features,
Uh-huh.
then you have to make sure your old feature should not be broken, sir. Are you getting?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So
Mm-hmm.
suppose, like I told you, in your WhatsApp, we have released WhatsApp 1.0, and suppose we have a 500 test cases that was into working state.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sir, you have introduced WhatsApp 2.0, and here you have added new 20 test cases. For example, new 20 scenarios. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you, when you will be releasing 2.0, you have to execute your 500 test cases plus your 20 test cases should be into running working state, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in this case, this 20 should pass plus this 500 you will regress. You will regress
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
because you have added something new features. Are you
Uh-huh.
getting?
Yeah, yeah.
So that is the definition of regression testing. Just a second.
Uh,
So now you got this point.
mhm.
So sir, if I want to ask you that, can you define a regression? So what you can say?
Regression testing is the testing which is done by adding something to the new build. Like in Bluestem branch when we used to have a new promo. So new codes were added. So
No,
at
sir.
that time.
Definition is still not correct.
Oh,
So
okay.
what is yeah? But it's like not perfect. Regression testing is a testing where we make sure
Uh-huh.
if we are adding the new features,
Uh-huh.
then old features should not be broken.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why we go for the. So what is regression testing? In the regression testing, we will make sure new features are working. That's okay, but we have to make sure old features should also be into working state. So for that, we have
Yeah.
to go for the regression testing.
Yeah. They didn't get affected by this new feature.
Yeah. Now, so
Yep.
that was for the regression. Now,
Mm.
what is this magic word retesting?
I don't know.
So now a very simple case. I was just talking to you about this audio scenario. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose one to one your audio, sir, this test case is passed. It was
Mm-hmm.
working absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have created a group of suppose 5 people, for
Mm-hmm.
example, and now you are doing your audio call.
Mm-hmm.
And suppose this time this test case fail.
Mm-hmm.
Is like group audio call is not working. And suppose for that you have test case 101, 102, and 103. These three test cases are there, for example. So you will all you will mark all these three test cases as a fail state because group call is not working. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Are you getting this point? This one. Or should I
Yeah.
repeat?
Like maybe
Once.
it's yeah.
Okay,
Say
one
it.
what I'm saying here, we have testing the audio feature.
Mm-hmm.
So Rizwan sir, this test case was passed. Suppose we
Mm-hmm.
had the test case 105
Mm-hmm.
and this test case is passed because one to one call is working. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have these three test cases 101, 102, 103, which it is related to you have to create a group of 5 people, 6 people, 10 people, and then you have to do the audio call. And
Mm-hmm.
now this audio call is not working. So, sir, we will fail these three test cases because it is not working, right? Audio call is
Yeah.
not working.
The group call is not working.
Group call is not working. So if it is fail, so obviously you will raise a one bug. Am I correct?
Yeah.
You will raise the bug. Obviously, developer will fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
Developer will fix it. Again, you have to verify on this fix once you are provided the fix. Now
Mm-hmm.
again, you have to verify whether it is working properly or not. Correct?
Yeah. After it's
So, sir,
fixed.
after it is fixed, so here you will just retest 101, 102, and 103 only. Only those specific test cases that were failing. Now
Mm-hmm.
you will just retest only that scenario only.
Yeah, which failed initially.
which failed initially, and for that you have raised the defects.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting? So what is regression? In the regression, we will test the entire application.
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of retesting, we will just test the specific test cases that were failed.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, retesting is very quick testing compared to regression, right?
Yes.
Compared to. So that is a minor difference. So you should be able to explain them because these are the some questions they
Mm-hmm.
usually they ask just to catch you. Is like whether you have work, not work. We never know. Interview can ask anything.
Mm-hmm.
So are you in a position to explain them what is regression and retesting or what is the difference?
Yeah, retesting is like some test cases, like the group call when it get failed, and we
Mm-hmm.
raised the bug and it was fixed by the developer. So we just
Yeah.
need to retest the same things which were not working and pass the test cases,
Yeah.
and we say
Yes.
it's done. But regression
Exactly.
is a new feature added, so we want to make sure that the previous features are working fine
Yeah.
and the new
Yeah.
additional feature is also working fine.
Now 100% correct, sir. If you say like that, he'll
Okay.
understand. Yes, he has a now idea of this. Yeah. Now it makes sense. Perfect.
Okay.
The
That is
other
a good
question
interview
they
question. I just want to say that that was a good interview question and that was a good
Mhm.
answer.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Now he'll get it. Oh, this guy is like really worked on this. That's great.
Mhm.
White box versus black box. I'm pretty much sure you have heard this word as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you like to share your understanding that I'll correct you if something is missing?
White box testing is like testing or when you see the code also,
Yes,
uh,
very good.
you are aware of the code and everything. Black box yeah, is just like we don't care about the code. It just we see that this is the requirements and this is the expectation, so it's working.
Yeah, so here I would say whatever the official build they are providing you, because
Mm-hmm.
build when you will see, you will never see the source code, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
you are using your WebEx, but can you tell me by looking into the WebEx, it is written in which programming language? Is it possible
No.
for you to understand? It is impossible, right?
Yeah.
So so in this case, you have been provided with the official build. It's like there is no access to the source code. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like here you said, in the case of white box, sir, they will provide you directly audio.java that is written by developer,
Mm-hmm.
video.java, then they will provide you chat.java. They will say that boss, right now my build is not ready, or it's like we will do something,
Mm-hmm.
but this I'm giving you access to the source code. So like this guy is test the application with the help of their unit testing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
unit testing is the example of your white box testing actually.
Mm-hmm.
They write some unit test cases, right? So they don't have any official build available at that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you a simple example. uh, I don't know, Rizwan sir, do you have any idea about any programming language before?
Yeah.
Okay,
I.
so if I ask something like that, I hope you'll be able to understand, then it would be easier for you. Anyway, we are going to cover, I would say void, suppose add, and I'm writing suppose int a, int b, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying C is equal to, very writing I'm very simple, but C is equals to A plus B, something like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just writing very simple print C, just like algorithm, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sir, if I ask you this question, so at least when I'm saying int, so it is just taking two integer values. If you want to add
Uh-huh.
two integers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So have you heard there are some float values as well, right? Float
Uh-huh.
is like
Mm-hmm.
3.14, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you, if you want to test whether the two numbers are working properly or not,
Mm-hmm.
so they will give you this access to the source code directly.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, you should know how to execute the Java program onto the Eclipse or whatever the environment that you're using.
Mm-hmm.
When this program will execute from the command line, sir, you will
Mm-hmm.
provide. Can you tell me two values that you can provide here for testing?
Yeah, we can say 2 plus 3. So the answer C print value will come 5.
Five. Sir, this would be your positive scenario. That is pass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if you provide, sir, here 3.14,
Mhm.
and or I'll make you a little you provided 3 and you provided here same example I'm saying giving you TWO and 3.
Mhm.
What should happen, sir, here?
Oh, it's not integer, so it will not work.
Exactly. You see? So this test case must fail. This is your
Mhm.
negative scenario. Are you getting?
Yeah, yeah.
Even you don't need any official build, whether you don't need any UI. In the UI, it will give you a message. Hey, string value is not accepted. Please enter integer. So when you will run this program, you should get a message. Sorry, please enter integer values only. So this
Mhm.
is how we do the white box testing.
Mhm.
And sir, nowadays, I don't know, have you heard about this new role SDET? Any idea?
No.
Just do a Google, sir. This is very important. Uh, SDET, Software Development Engineer in Test, correct?
Mhm. Mhm.
So earlier we had this role. What was the role name? The role name was a manual tester, correct?
Mhm.
Then it would be replaced by this automation engineer, correct?
Mhm.
Now, especially when you go into the startups or if you go to the companies like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, sir,
Mhm.
they have introduced this new role SDATE
Mhm.
and they expect from the SDATE you should be able to do the white box testing.
Mhm.
Are you getting? So
Yeah.
yes, no doubt. For the automation engineer, no one would expect is like usually they don't expect that. But if you are specifically going for the SDAT role, they expect that if I'm just providing you directly giving you the access to the source code, you should be able to catch me the bugs before I will give you the official bill or anything.
Mhm.
So for white box testing, you must need programming skills.
Mhm.
Now clear a little bit what is white box testing, how we can do this with this little
Yeah.
example.
Yeah. He is checking the source code and testing there, right?
But when if for the same example, if I ask you a black box testing, they will give a nice dashboard, okay,
Mhm.
with the help of HTML, CSS. There will be a one button,
Mhm.
first value, second value. It's like they will not
Mhm.
give you access to the source code. So in the
Uh-huh.
case of black box testing, they will directly provide you the official build. They will not provide you the source code. Like that
Mhm.
we do end to end. So you are aware, if I click this, this should be the output. For example,
Mhm.
in the case of WhatsApp, if you click onto the audio button, you are aware audio should happen, video should not start, correct?
Mhm.
But by looking to WhatsApp audio, can you tell me it is written in which programming language?
No.
Impossible. Because that is not needed. That is none
Mhm.
of my business as a QA. Boss,
Mhm.
I am a manual engineer. What is my understanding? I am testing whether if I eat on audio should happen, video should not happen. That is my
Mhm.
job is done.
Mhm.
So that is nothing but the black box testing.
Mhm.
Now, you are comfortable with white box and black box?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Very good. Uh, Now let's introduce little bit complicated stuff. Static testing versus dynamic testing. Have you heard these words theoretically?
No.
No, because this is a one typical interview questions, they will try to catch you.
Mhm.
So now here I would say a type is a dynamic testing is nothing but the combination of your black box plus white box.
Mhm.
It's like you will be provided with the official code, sorry, you will be provided with the source code, or they will provide you the build directly. That is something is there for the testing. That is nothing but the dynamic testing. It's like there is the involvement of the source code. Are you getting?
Mhm.
See, dynamic testing is nothing but that we have this black box and white box. That means source code should be there or there should be an uh, official build. But sir, in the case of static testing, no source code and no official build. Then how you can test the applications, or any idea? Is like I'm asking you to check WhatsApp application, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not giving you the source code of the WhatsApp application, and I'm not giving you the build also. And I'm asking you to, can you check the WhatsApp application? Is it possible for you?
So if I don't have source code and if I don't have the build, then
Build.
how one can do it?
What we can do that ideal question should come. But sir, that is the magic of your static testing. In the
Uh-huh.
static testing, you don't have a source code, you don't have a build, but still you can test the application.
Mm-hmm. How?
Any, yeah, that is a very interesting question. This one is, sir, is I can understand your curiosity. Suddenly came how, it's like very
Mm-hmm.
interesting to know. So now have a look, have a look. I'll try to explain you. Mm, here, uh, if I ask you, you have this WhatsApp application, you know that. If I ask you that for the entire application, Rizwan is, sir, how many test cases that comes in your mind? Any number that you
Any
can write, any random number, or
uh,
entire WhatsApp application, audio,
uh,
video, chat, settings, privacy, blah blah blah, and all this stuff.
some 500 cases.
500 test cases, hypothetical, very good number. But now, sir, you have a one junior. Asad is not there, so let's introduce him. Asad has written the test cases, and just he has written, sir, around 35 test cases.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that, okay, sir, I'm going to do the testing, and I have written 35 test cases. My first question to you, he is a senior. Are you comfortable with 35 test cases?
35 cases, no.
I'll reduce you more. I'll help you more. Suppose he has just written 15 test cases for the entire application.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, WhatsApp. Will you allow him to go ahead, and will you say that, okay, sir, okay, sir, very good, you have written 15 test cases, yeah, you can go ahead and test the application. Will you say yes or no?
Yeah, if he's a junior, then it's okay, but it's not satisfactory
It is not satisfactory. Yes. Why it is not satisfactory? Because
because all the features and everything, all the details.
yeah, exactly, sir. Imagine that if he has just tested 15 test cases, 100% there would have been a bug come from the customer, from the end users,
Mm-hmm.
right? 100% there we will get a bug, right? 100% because he has not done the entire coverage, right?
Yes.
Obviously. But now, because you have reviewed his test cases, you say that, oh, come on, sir, you have just written a one test case for audio. Where is the scenario for one to many scenario? Where is the scenario for offline? Where is the scenario for online? It's like a number of feedbacks that you will give him. And suppose you have done this count to, suppose, say 450.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now, if this guy is testing the application, I would say the chances that comes maybe 10%,
Yeah.
maybe 5%,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 1%, depends.
Mm-hmm.
So, sir, there was no official build, there was no source code, but you have indirectly tested the application. You have contributed in testing the application by reviewing his test cases.
Yeah.
Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Uh-huh.
Is like before we should get any bug into the system, you have stopped it by reviewing his coverage, by
Mm-hmm.
reviewing his test cases.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another example, a difficult example. Imagine that, again, we are not against in any country, but imagine that this is a very African country, very poor, people has
Mm-hmm.
not seen the world. They are creating this system, traffic signal. Okay, traffic
Mm-hmm.
signal. They guys are never gone from their country, so they said that, okay, we have to do a traffic signal. Okay, tell me some color. Okay, sir, red color. What should we do? Red. Okay, sir, red color. Then someone will start going from the signal. Okay, can you tell me one color for stopping? Okay, sir, we will do this green color, and people will stop here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you have any concern? No one say, okay, sir, we don't have any concern. These guys decided these things, and they have installed all the traffic signal into their country. And from 6 months, this system is working absolutely fine. In their country, there is no problem, sir. Okay. But imagine that first time from this country, someone is going to any other country, USA, UK, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Australia, Canberra, anywhere. Now this guy is going. Will accident? Yes or no?
Yes.
100% he will do the accident, right?
Yeah.
Now, when he will come back, he will what feedback he will give? Any idea to their country people?
Different people have different setups, different colors, and they react like on a red, they stop, and here we just go.
So, sir, he has given this feedback because
Hmm.
he said that I was into Australia, I was into US, I was in India, I was in Pakistan, I was in Sri Lanka, I was in New Zealand, and this wherever this they are the universal truth is they are following this one, and this guy came and he has given this feedback. Now their country they work for 2 months for this system. They destroyed entire system and again they have rebuilt. Okay,
Hmm.
redesigning had happened here, sir. Correct?
Hmm.
What I'm saying, imagine that when in the first time when they were deciding the colors, okay, imagine that if some would have given them a feedback at that time only, will that would have been happen? There would not be
No.
a single accident. There would
Mhm.
not have been any rebuild. There would not have been any vesting of the system again, right?
Mhm.
So what I'm trying to tell you, the example of static testing is that when we are working into the agile mode of working, in the design itself, if the QA can give you a better feedback, you can
Mhm.
introduce a potentially defect that
Mhm.
may have introduced into the system. So you
Mhm.
have already store. So suppose Rizwani sir, you were working into that just that African country. Take an example. You are
Mhm.
from US. You went to for some reason. Now you would have given this feedback there. Oh no. For you this just color a color. But tell me, I have seen the world. Can you just change for red to stop and green for start? They will say that okay. If you have knowledge, if you think that that is good, okay, we'll do that. So don't you think, sir, you have contributed in testing indirectly?
Oh yeah, a big change, a big.
Big change. So that is so here there is no official build. They haven't installed the signals yet.
Yeah, at
They
the
they
design.
there was no source code, but they were just discussing by doing the brainstorming sessions, by giving the ideas, by reviewing their documents, by reviewing the test cases, by reviewing their design. You are giving something and you are actually stopping. So don't you think indirectly it is a kind of testing?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Like the developer doesn't have to develop, and even before they develop, they may make and they made a big correction. So it's really good. An
Yeah.
expert. Yeah, yeah, good.
So what is static testing? Static testing is done by reviewing the document, by reviewing the test cases, by reviewing the test plan. For example, I'll come on to the test plan. Your this WhatsApp application, sir, it is
Mhm.
clearly written that it would be tested on Android mobiles and it would be tested on iOS. Okay. Imagine that Tahir is our manager. He has written this test plan. But in the test plan, he has said that okay, on Android we will do the testing. Yes, okay. And at that time iOS mobiles were not there. He said that no, we will not do this testing. Once the devices will come, then maybe I'll update this test plan and I will do the testing. I will do the coverage for the iOS Apple mobiles only. Okay. And sir, in 1 week we got the Apple mobiles as well, but Tahir somehow forgot to update this test plan. And it is as it is there. But now after 2 weeks, Tahir has sent this test plan for the review to the entire team. Okay. Now, okay, suppose he has not sent to anyone. Take an example. And we have gone to this test plan. So,
Mhm.
sir, don't you think that there would be a defects come onto the Apple because no testing was done, right?
Yeah.
But if we would have reviewed this test plan, so now Rizwan is saying that, oh, Tahir sir, we got the machines. Come on, go ahead and change it. You will do the test
Mhm.
on yes only. Now,
Mhm.
please add the test cases, change the test plan, give the 1 week more extra, blah, 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 blah. Don't you think, sir, you have helped in achieving the
Yeah,
good quality of the
contributed.
product?
Your contribution is big. Good.
So that's why I'm saying a static testing. So here I haven't provided you any WhatsApp application, no source code, no build, but still by reviewing the test cases, by reviewing the documents, by reviewing the test plan, by doing the brainstorming sessions, you can
Mhm.
contribute. So that is nothing but a static testing.
Yeah, he has a very good expert
Domain
eye.
expert.
So before going to
Domain.
anything else, he provided a good, he contributed good, and he just, yeah, woke us up. Good.
And sir, I
Before
would say
testing.
if you want to become a manual tester, always remember two qualities you must have. Even you can become a king into manual testing. You should be able to think more test cases. That
More
is your
scenarios.
more scenarios. Plus, you should be expert of domain knowledge. You should have a good domain knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Still, you can become a king. The,
Mm-hmm.
the, the developers will come to you and they will ask you, hey, Rizwani, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you were working into finance. Can you help me? What are this term deposit, transaction? I'm just giving example. Can you just help me
Mm-hmm.
to understand this? It's still, you can check that application better compared to any another person.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why by reviewing these things, I'll tell you this one is sir, I have a one friend, he is a very good manual guy. So even he doesn't do automation. He has almost same experience, 15 years, 18 years like me, but still he's into the cyber security domain. So still people like him because he has a very good understanding of the antiviruses, malware, what are the phishing attacks, that domain. So he can do the testing in a better way compared to a new guy.
Mm-hmm.
So now someone is saying you what is static versus difference between dynamic. So in the static testing, we review the documents, we review the test plan, we review the test cases, we do the brainstorming session. So by reviewing the documents, we can do the static testing. In the
Mm-hmm.
case of dynamic, we have access to the. It's like there would be an involvement of the source code,
Mm-hmm.
involvement of the source code. Now that may be in the form of white box. If it is not a source code, then they will directly provide you the official build.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Always it is good to have an extra eye, an expert eye, and to fix the problem. Yeah.
And sir, that's why Rizwan is sir, this agile has becoming a very powerful technology nowadays because
Mm-hmm.
where developer sits and dev and QA they sit together, they brainstorm. When your system architect is designing the system, lot of
Mm-hmm.
time these our QA peoples are involved into the
Mm.
meetings. They
Yeah.
sit in one in a room.
Mm-hmm.
They when they write the user stories, they groom the user stories, they do the more coverage with the help of developers and QA.
Yeah. More and more communication there, more and more eyes are there. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So someone may ask you this, what is static testing, dynamic testing? So at least you should be in a position to explain them, these two words. Okay.
No, yeah.
Not last, not the least. I'm pretty much sure you might have heard this one, alpha testing versus beta testing. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Any idea, sir? What is your understanding?
Oh no.
Okay. So alpha testing is nothing but when you are releasing a product.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the testing that you are doing internally, I'll
Mm-hmm.
take the example of that service based. Is like you are working into the Amazon and you are asking us to deliver a product, software product for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be doing on my company environment. I'll be doing on my lab, correct? My QA setup.
Mm-hmm.
So alpha testing is done by QA team, or I would say it is in-house testing,
Mm-hmm.
or I would say before release of the product.
Mm-hmm.
See, whenever we are doing the test planning, so I have asked you that, sir, I need 3 months to deliver this product because I am doing the testing for 3 months. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever the 3 months that I would be testing in my company, in my premises, that is nothing but the alpha testing. So
Okay.
obviously in my company, I will use my setup. It is before release of the product. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously my QA engineers would be involved into it, right?
Yeah. But it's in my environment.
It's a QA environment, not Amazon environment, not your my
Mm-hmm.
company. Suppose
Mm-hmm.
I'm working for Tahir, then it would be the Tahir's laptop, Tahir's network. All this is like suppose we are sitting in India, you are sitting in US. So whatever the setup that I have in India, I will be testing onto that environment, in-house
Mm-hmm.
testing, in-house.
Mm-hmm.
Or I will give a simple example is like, another one is like, how can I tell you in simple words? Um, you have this, when we have this car,
Mm-hmm.
so whenever we release this car, so
Mm-hmm.
before that comes into the market, don't you Rizwani sir, these big companies also have their drivers, they test this car before they introduce in the market, right?
Yeah.
That is nothing but the alpha testing.
Mm-hmm.
They are testing into their environment, they are testing with their engineers,
Mm-hmm.
alpha testing.
Mm-hmm.
What is beta testing? Beta testing is like your 90% scenarios are working absolutely fine. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you have a doubt, this 10% scenarios, although they have tested very well in-house, but they are pretty much sure that you may find some defects when you are actually running onto the outside of their environment. See, I'll give example of car. So car they have tested very well into their country.
Mm-hmm.
But sir, the roads of US and the roads of other country, there might be a huge difference, right?
Yeah.
So can you give me the guarantee that whatever the car that is working properly in US, they'll also run successfully in African countries? Can we give the guarantee?
Oh no, 90% it will work good in the country it was built and it was tested, but in a different environment where it was not
Exactly.
tested, yeah, it might give some
Similarly,
problem.
I have tested your website in my company on
Mm-hmm.
my network environment with my antivirus. But when I am delivering this product to you, I will
Mm-hmm.
ask you, okay, Rizwani sir, before I give you the official bill, before I
Mm-hmm.
give you the bill that you can distribute to the entire your customers, I would request you, can you just do a same testing in your environment with the help of your
Mm-hmm.
engineers? We will work together. Can you just double check? Can you just make sure that
Mm-hmm.
whatever the features that you have to check with your internet in the sense, you have to check with your network, you have to check with your firewalls, you have to check with the antivirus, you have to check with IPv6 testing, IPv4. I know it's like a lot of things are there. So that is nothing but the beta testing. So here we request to our customer, can you help us to do a similar checks in your environment before I give you the official build? So what we will do, sir, we'll resume this topic tomorrow, alpha, beta, and official. I just give you the introduction. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not finishing this topic. We'll resume from our session from this topic, alpha, beta,
Yeah,
and official.
yeah.
Okay.
Now one request.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, request is that please make yourself comfortable at whatever time I will come because I am open. So
Okay.
whatever time is
So,
good for you, just tell me. And tomorrow we
okay.
will be
So
able
good.
to see Asad or no?
Okay. So tomorrow, Asad, Tahir sir is also there. So it's like, my office working hours is like 2 to 11 Indian time. So it's like right now it's 9. So Monday to Friday, I would be in the office next 2 hours as well. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So the point is after 11. So Tahir sir, what is the time right now there? Is
This
10:30?
is 10:30
At
right now.
10:30.
10:30. So I can try at your 1 p.m. after lunchtime. But
Yeah.
like I said, I cannot give you the guarantee because sometimes we get a work sometimes. So it is very
So do you want to do it
chances.
weekdays as well? And weekends?
Yeah, so Rizwan is sir, like I told you, Tahir, because his concepts are pretty much clear. So I was thinking, if we can help him because he's available. This is what he's suggesting.
Okay.
So I'm trying my best if we can, as a